Welcome back. Welcome back to the Kovacs Report. It's time to take that trip down Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion lane for issue 4 of this miniseries by Cody Ziglar, Deniz Camp, Jonas Scharf, etc. So I'm going to go through it page by page. There will be spoilers. Like the video if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you can too. So I'm not going to make any bones about it. I am not a fan of this book at all. Unfortunately, because I am invested in this ultimate universe, I'm reading it. And also, I started reviewing it, so I kind of want to finish the reviews all the way to the very bitter end. Now, I have been quite outspoken, and I say it every time about these two creators and this ultimate line. And this book just doesn't get good ever. Every single issue of the, I think it's 5 issues, is basically Miles Morales trying to chase down his little baby sister, Billy, who's been sucked into this alternate universe, the 6160 universe, from the 616 universe, and he can't find her. And every single time he turns up to where she is being, I don't know, held, imprisoned, looked after, it just so happens to be the very exact same minute that some nefarious villain is turning up to kidnap her and take her somewhere else. So that the very next issue, he can go and find her again to have someone turn up at the very same second he's arrived and whisk her off again. So that this can be spread out across 5 issues. So in each issue, Miles Morales can meet one of the 5 other Ultimate books. That's essentially what this is. There's supposed to be some kind of reveal in this, and I think we get a little hint at what that is, but it's a lot of nothing to get to it. And this entire story, this entire 5-issue miniseries that was never, ever needed, right, could have been wrapped up in a one-shot, which would have made it less painful to read. So this issue is all about Miles Morales meeting the X-Men, or one of the X-Men from Peach Momoko's book, May. Oh boy. So we are in the snow. And as you can see, they're both speaking their native tongues because Miles doesn't speak Japanese and May doesn't speak English or Spanish. But luckily, it's explained that they've got some translation apps and they just force it in there, right? They just go, oh man, our translation apps are really earning their pay today, huh? And that's the kind of dialogue that you expect all the way through this book. Now, people hate me for hating on this, but this is a channel for honest opinions. Honest opinions. And it's not because I'm not cerebral enough to get what's going on in the book. It's because it is just another example of poor writing, no story, and Marvel wanting to stretch those ultimate dollars from your wallet into theirs. So they come across this mountain range. They're trying to find Billy. And again, this is going to be a very short review because I don't want to shit on it too much. It does it itself if you've read it. We get treated to all sorts of terrible dialogue, no forwarding of the story, no forwarding of the characters. Miles Morales gets sort of a visit from Anansi, his spider god, who says, I'm going to help you. And he bitches and moans and he cries every issue, right? Miles Morales just crying like an absolute baby. Like he's a spider totem, right? He's a Spider-Man. Okay, maybe he cries once or twice in 30 issues, but every issue he's crying and moaning and complaining like an absolute entitled, arrogant, annoying little petulant child. And it is boring. You have to wade through pages and pages of dialogue that do absolutely nothing for the story. Then they turn up at this building where Magic is defending it from these giants and these monsters, and she's hacking and slashing. She's absolutely destroying them with a smile on her face without breaking a sweat. She is guarding this facility that has Billy, Miles Morales' sister. Apparently, she's a key. She's a key to something. Right, and I guess we're going to find out soon. So she dispatches them, and she slings her sword over her shoulder. She's happy as Larry. She's enjoying her life. I am Magic, Queen of Limbo, and ruler of the Eurasian Republic, and I'll unleash hell if. And just as she's about to chop this guy up, or rather just after she's chopped her head off, Spidey throws her webs out. Like, hey, hi. That fight with those weird black knights and fairies didn't happen to tuck you out, did it? It did not. Well, dang. Guess we're going to be doing this the old-fashioned way. Now, this dialogue, doesn't it suck? Come on. Even the greatest defenders of this book, please tell me this is not what you consider a high standard of dialogue. It is poor. And then we get this fight, which is so ridiculous, right? This is magic. She's one of the biggest badasses in the Ultimate Universe, right? She's just dispatched a load of old dudes without any effort whatsoever. Well, guess what? They do this, right? Miles Morales says, tokusatsu, right? Because he thinks that's a word that May will understand. Because, of course, you know, we've got these translation apps, but something's going on and the, you know, it isn't being translated, but none of them are wearing earphones. It doesn't show them wearing earphones. So how are these translation apps actually telling them what the other person is saying? It is so badly worked out here. It is terrible. Please, honestly, tell me how that works, right? It just doesn't. Anyway, he screams this, and this is a Japanese style of storytelling where it's very over-accentuated, you know, moves. They announce what those killer moves are. It's like watching Street Fighter. You know, you get the kind of thing. And they web her and pull her towards her, and they double kick her, taking her out. Now, this is magic. I mean, this is magic. They just take her out by giving her a kick together. How is that even possible? And then, of course, they go, amazing. That was so cool. And then what we find is that the dialogue that they're both saying in their separate languages that both of them can't hear or understand are exactly the same thing to show how in unison they are. That was so cool. What's that? An alarm? An alarm's going off. I bet there's a lab or something nearby. It must be where they're keeping Billy. Come on. Come on. Anyway, there is a lab there. And these goons here, they get eviscerated by some flying knives by this dude who I've totally forgotten who he is, because that's the problem with most of these Ultimate books is they are so forgettable. And you don't care. You're not invested in his characters. Anyway, this is the latest villain that's decided to turn up completely out of the blue on exactly the same day at exactly the same moment to take Billy away and thwart Miles' attempt to get her back. But what he does do is he holds it up to this dome, which I assume has got to do something to do with bringing the Maker back, which is the whole point of these 2 years worth of stories, that the Maker is returning. The Maker is returning. Okay. Anyway, still hasn't explained how she has the power. Still hasn't explained why she has the power. And it still doesn't explain anything else. So he holds this baby up to this dome. And apparently this is now about to, I guess, bring the Maker back. And that's it. That is Spider-Man Incursion. It's Spider-Man Incursion, not Ultimate Incursion, because guess what? Spider-Man sells books. Spider-Man will sell a book. Okay, and the Ultimate Spider-Man book is selling exceptionally well. So let's throw Miles Morales in there to get people to buy it because of Spider-Man there. Let's throw this absolutely ridiculous non-story in there so we can sell you 5 books where Miles meets all the other Ultimate books, okay, which then will eventually lead in to the miniseries Ultimate Endgame, which will potentially explain what's been going on. Now, I know some of you are going to tell me I'm wrong. Some of you are going to tell me you hate me. And I honestly, I don't care. You're entitled to your opinion. But really, if this is what you think is a high standard of storytelling, of art, and of comic books, then I think you need to pick up some other books that you maybe haven't read and compare them. And then, you know, maybe reassess your opinion of these books, because this, I'm sorry to say it, it is the bargain bin of comic books right now. I absolutely cannot stand it. I can't wait till it finishes so I can find out what's actually the purpose of this book leading into Ultimate Endgame. And I can stop ranting about it and getting downvoted and losing subscribers over it. But then again, like I say, I'm always going to give an honest opinion. It may not be the same as yours, or it may be the same as yours, but that's what you're going to get from me. That's what you're going to get from me. So there we go. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion. I think there's one more left to get through. And then we're on to the end game, pun intended. So there we go. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Like the video if you like the video. Hit subscribe if you can. And hopefully I haven't scared you away from the next review. See you soon.